going to start doing wrist manipulation as far as blades are concerned. We spent about a week or so working on wrists and wrist locks. My theory on wrist locks is they're great transition tools, good control, but they're not necessarily fight finishers. Okay? I'm not going to break somebody's wrist, and if I break this wrist, he's going to hit me with that one. If I break this wrist, he's going to elbow me with that. Okay? So these are basically to teach you the mechanics of how the grips work and how arms work, so you can start actually applying some of this stuff to more lively bladed combatants. Okay? We start very slow, we start very methodical, and then we start adding drills in where there's a lot more resistance to see how well this stuff really works and how well your technique has to be on point to make it work as needed. Okay? Disarms and all that stuff are attacks of opportunity. I'm not going into something going, oh, I'm going to disarm him. No, you're going to die. Don't do that. Okay? So the idea is to use these things to teach mechanics. Okay? Some of them do have a little bit of practical application. Okay? Otherwise, I wouldn't really be teaching. Or I'd be very clear about this. It has no practical application. This is just to teach you mechanics. This is a little bit of both. Okay? I like living in both worlds because, as I say quite often to these guys, I teach you how to dance before I teach you how to fight, because dancing makes fighting easier. Okay? That's why we do so much footwork and all that crap. Right? So, but in the end, we're looking at using mechanics to get disarmed. Okay? Attacks of opportunity. So, the first one, yep. Okay. So we're just going to start static. I'm not going to do any fancy setups or anything like that. He's going to be pointing the knife at me in a threatening fashion so that I can learn where I need to be and how I need to get my grip. First one, basic, simple, outside wrist lock. Grab the thumb meat, get my thumb between his middle and ring knuckle, give or take, okay, and be over here. Okay. So if I was doing this a big, traditional martial arts motion, it would be whoop, whoop. Right? Not how we're going to do it. Here, I quarter my angle and I stay close. And I hold tight. This is where this starts to get more practical. Right? Here, then all I'm doing, I'm facing this way, I want to be facing that way. As I do, I cover my thumb and I rotate. So I'm right here and I have this wrist bent 90 degrees. I'm pressing here. Right? Now, if I want to strip this, if they have a pommel and it's sticking out, I have a good place to lever this right out of their hand. Okay? If pommel's hidden, then this has to come over top and find the direction the thumb would open. Okay? When the thumb opens, that's the direction to take the knife out. Okay? That's one. Right? Barring that, boom. Okay? I get to here, I come back and I foobar something, or he's super strong and I can't get his wrist broken over. He starts to give me resistance, I spin this out to here, my hand rotates. What I'm doing is going right here with my middle finger. So if I'm here, this is where I have control, right where the wrist flexes. Okay, that's where I want to put my control point. Okay. So I'm going from here, rotated to here, right? Good, solid grip right on the wrist bone, so that this hand can now put pressure inward. Right? If I want to finish this and disarm, I turn, my wrist is against the back, the flat of the blade. It might be against the blade, that's okay, happens. So, and then I'm going right for his eyeball. I'm not pushing outward, I'm not going this way, I'm going this way. Okay? Right. So I do this one, boom, he resists or something, I get this, right to here. Right? Turn this to me. Finger jab. Okay? Finger jab, knuckle punch, whatever I'm trying to do. Finish this wrist lock, get this up, start walking in. Lots of different things to do. Okay? So that's basically the one and the two. Okay? Practical stuff is in there. If you've done a lot of these, you can see it. If you haven't, it all looks like trash. So, but it is what it is. Okay. Now, counters to these. Right? So now he's going to do these to me. This, I'm following this, right? So as I'm following this, he's pressing this down to the ground, right? I get my own hand, I'm covering the back of his hand, and I'm stepping into him to drive this to the ground, right? No one owns this knife right now, right? My wrist is in a bad position, but I have him covered, okay? So what I'm going to do is, now that we're here, I take the big step, I touch his leg with my hip, my front leg is loaded, I go straight back, and I pull this way, okay? And that should give me an immediate impetus to come back and attack. Okay? One more time with that. Boom, boom. I follow it, I hug it with my armpit, I step back to here where I'm touching, and then I push him away as I pull my knife and start to come in. Okay? That's A. B, he does the thing. I can't quite get this to happen, but I'm foobarring it enough for him that he has to go back to the second. I'm going to cover that hand right here. Then I step at my angle. Boom, right? I have his hands trapped together. He wants this one out. I'm like, sure. Boom, right? I hold this tight to me. Right? It's my knife. I want it, right? I get leverage on the elbow if I need it, or I step behind him and pull his arm the other way. Okay? Here, boom, something's happening. Boom, I go right to here. Okay? I can also do the top hand. If I feel like he's reaching over to do this big thing, I can get the top hand and do the same motion. I take a step outward. I'm holding this one, and this one is peeled across. I can go to right here, give him that leverage, step behind. Okay? His hand is facing such that, slip. Okay? Last, I wait a little too long. Okay? Yes. Thank you. You're welcome. Something's happening, I'm not letting him do that. Okay, right there. I'm going to go in between. Then this cups as I step past him. I push with this arm, I pull with this arm. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? It's not boom, but slice, slice, slice. No, I'm not going to let you do that one either. Out to here, step and push and pull. Less lethal. Super lethal. Right? So, a couple different options. Again, practical realities versus the art that makes practical realities better. Okay? We're doing these in a vacuum. We're doing these where he's very somewhat cooperative. All the motions happen as we want. That's where we got to start drilling. Okay? And drilling is a little different. It's a lot more, I'm holding on for dear life. Right? Like we were talking earlier. This is plastic. But my brain goes, ah! When it sees it. Alright? That's okay, because you need to train in an adrenalized state. You need to make sure that you're practicing stuff with heavy resistance and pain and getting knocked around and all that kind of stuff, because fighting ain't dancing. Dancing makes it fighting better, but fighting ain't dancing. Okay? So, for all the martial artists out there, keep doing this stuff. Keep doing all the stuff that everyone takes a dump on, because it only teaches you body mechanics, how to get better at movement, footwork, all that crap. But know the difference between something that has a practical application versus something that is so esoteric, craziness, that it's not going to work except for in very specific situations, against very specific styles, usually your own, and gotta harness the reality of the situations that you're in and practice them in that mode of reality. Okay? All right, I'll shut up before I start saying too much. Thank you.